Believe that the 9/11 terrorist attacks on America were the inevitable consequence of American foreign policy?
Inevitable in the sense that we...
Wait, did you catch that? A newly elected official just got asked if the darkest day in modern American history was inevitable. Stop scrolling, because her answer is sending absolute shockwaves through the political world, and we need to break this down.
A lot of the Middle East that forced people to believe that another act of violence was the only response. And again, just like I said before, our responsibility is to getting rid of those conditions that lead to violence in the first place.
Listen closely to the phrasing she uses right there. Inevitable in the sense that we destabilized. She is actively framing the most catastrophic terror attack on U.S. soil as a predictable reaction to American foreign policy. You don't usually see politicians say the quiet part out loud on television like this, especially not a newly elected incoming representative. The interviewer gives her a direct chance to walk it back or condemn the violence outright, but she doubles down on the destabilization narrative. Pay attention to how calm and collected she is while delivering this. This isn't a slip of the tongue. It is a deeply held ideological stance, and it perfectly illustrates the growing divide we are seeing right now. A massive faction is actively working to dismantle traditional narratives and replace them with this exact type of rhetoric. When leaders start justifying historical tragedies by pointing the finger back at the United States, it signals a massive ideological shift at the highest levels of government. You have to wonder how her constituents are reacting to this clip, and more importantly, how the rest of her party is going to handle someone who speaks this bluntly.
We will not wait to abolish ICE and pass Medicare for all. We will not wait to put an end to the politics of the past, to get big money out of our politics, and to reject corporate PACs and APAC. And no, we will not wait to end the genocide in Palestine.
Look at the energy in that room. That is pure, unfiltered momentum. She is standing there fresh off a massive primary upset against a 30-year incumbent, and her immediate priorities are abolishing ICE and passing Medicare for all. Notice the crowd's reaction? They are absolutely eating it up. This is a massive warning siren for the traditional establishment. It proves that grassroots organizing running on highly aggressive, uncompromising platforms can actually mobilize enough voters to completely topple entrenched legacy politicians. When she pivots to talking about Palestine, the decibel level in the room completely skyrockets. That right there is the pulse of the new progressive base. They are highly organized, heavily motivated, and totally uninterested in playing by the old rules of incremental change. What you are watching is a hostile takeover of a major political seat, executed flawlessly. The old guard is terrified because they don't know how to campaign against this kind of raw populist energy. If this strategy can work in Colorado to unseat a 3-decade giant, you better believe it is going to be replicated in districts all across the entire country.
Him is an open, self-declared Maoist. He absolutely does not like what this country stands for. What they're attempting to do is, if they can sow enough discord here and back elected officials, especially that support these ideologies that would essentially put the United States as number 2 in the global order, it is my opinion and belief that he is working on behalf of the Chinese government to essentially break America.
Did you see the sheer scale of the chaos in that B-roll footage? We are talking about burning cars, masked individuals in the streets, and pure anarchy. Now, pair that visual with what Representative Luna is actually saying. She is openly calling out a self-declared Maoist who is actively funding and orchestrating this exact type of discord on American soil. We aren't talking about organic grassroots protests anymore. This is a highly coordinated, incredibly well-funded operation designed to destabilize communities from the inside out. Look at the tactics being deployed here. It is straight out of a manual for societal disruption. The goal isn't to win a debate. The goal is to break the system entirely. When you have foreign-aligned dark money flowing into activist networks, it turns local grievances into nationwide flashpoints. You have to look past the surface-level shouting and follow the actual money trail. The people out there setting fires are just the foot soldiers. The real architects are sitting comfortably in boardrooms, funneling millions to ensure that the temperature in this country never actually cools down. It is a completely terrifying reality.
And I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not great. The news is not great. Okay? I mean, it's but still not great that, you know, they're after your boy. They're up my and I'll obviously get into it right now. I'll tell you all about it, but let me blast off real quick. We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me. Free me.
Look at his face right there. That is the look of a man who just realized the walls are closing in. Hassan Piker is usually incredibly confident, always playing offense on his streams. But right here, the energy has completely shifted. He is staring directly at a federal subpoena. The Department of Justice does not issue grand jury subpoenas for fun. When the feds come knocking for your bank records and your communications, it means they already have a massive puzzle put together, and they are just looking for the final pieces. Notice how he tries to laugh it off, saying, "Free me," but you can clearly hear the underlying tension in his voice. He knows exactly how serious this is. They are investigating a massive network of foreign-funded propaganda, and his name just got dragged right into the center of the crosshairs. This is what happens when digital activism collides with federal law enforcement. The internet isn't a shield when the DOJ decides to follow the money. His entire chat is panicking, and honestly, they probably should be. This could be the domino that brings down a massive operation.
Abolishing ICE is just one step, right? Democrats have been in power multiple times over the last few decades and did nothing to address the immigration reform that we actually
ICE
need.
expenditures, increased spending.
Exactly.
Bias.
Yeah. And so I think there has to be an immediate pathway for every single undocumented immigrant that's here in this country today that does not require them to shell out thousands of dollars.
Check out the dynamic between these two. You have Hassan Piker, one of the biggest political streamers on the internet, amplifying the exact same candidate we just saw making those explosive comments. They are sitting there casually strategizing about abolishing federal agencies like it's just another Tuesday. What is really wild here is the open disdain for the mainstream Democratic Party. They aren't trying to work within the system. They are actively pointing out that the current power structure actually increased funding for the agencies they want to destroy. This right here is the modern echo chamber in full effect. Traditional politicians spend millions on TV ads, but this is how the new base is actually built. Millions of young viewers are watching these multi-hour live streams, absorbing this uncompromising ideology directly from their favorite creators. It is a brilliant, highly effective pipeline for radicalizing a new generation of voters. The establishment has absolutely zero counter for this kind of digital influence. They are bypassing the traditional media gatekeepers entirely and speaking directly to an audience that is primed, angry, and ready to vote the old guard out. The entire political map is shifting overnight. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.